Welcome everyone to the 2015 USA Curling National Championships. My name is Joe Calabrese. Alongside me is Dean Gemmel and producer B.A. Brian Anderson. For the 8 o'clock draw, we have a game between Erica Brown and Nina Roth. Let's meet the teams.
Hi, I'm Erica Brown. I am the skip of Team Brown. My lead is Kendall Bain. My second is Rebecca Funk. And my third is Alex Carlson.
Hi, I'm Nina Roth, skip of Team Roth. My lead is Tabitha Peterson. Second, Becca Hamilton. Third, Jamie Sinclair.
And Dean, we're into the first end already here. Erica Brown is tied at the top of the standings at 7-1.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Joe. Erica, I think, playing here to assure herself. I think there's three teams at 7-1. Eileen Sormanen, Erica Brown, and Corey Christensen. Skipped by Sarah Anderson a lot of games, but they're all at 7-1 going into the final draw. None of them are playing each other. Patty Lank sits at 6-2, and she's playing the Christensen team. So interesting to see who will get into the 1-2 game as a result of tonight's matches. Nina Roth, probably the surprise story of the week here. A disappointing week for this team and their coach Ann Swisshelm after a season of hard work, but they're at 4-4 and not in the mix.
Yeah, looking to play spoiler here a little bit. Maybe knocked out Erica out of that 1-2 game.
The veteran Erica Brown, who was, of course, was the skip of the U.S. team at the 2014 Olympics in Sochi, retooled this year with a young lineup, and they seem to be finding their stride after a sort of an up-and-down tour season.
And make the hit and roll way under that center guard, just barely covered.
Now, Joe, you've seen more of the women's draw than I have because I've usually been napping or eating when the women are playing. But what's your take on the teams in the field so far?
All three teams at 7-1 have looked very comfortable, had a lot of leads, and been able to close out games pretty well. The lone blemish on Brown's record has been against Christensen. Christensen probably right now has the best momentum going. They lost their first game, changed skips for a couple games, got on a roll, then changed skips back, continued that roll. Looking really strong. Sormanen also playing very, very well. I couldn't pick between those three teams right now.
Of course, Eileen Sormanen beat Debbie McCormick in an extra end this afternoon, right?
Yep, and Sormanen here, their record, they just lost one game, and that was against Brown. So these teams that each beat the other, and it's kind of where we sit right now.
Of course, the Christensen team has lost their opener to Sormanen and has now rattled off 7 wins in a row with two different skips, and it looks as though tonight over on sheet D. Is that D? Yes, D. It looks as though, is it D or B over there, Joe? Whatever
That's
it is.
D.
D. I got it right. I should have trusted myself. Over on D, it looks as though Corey Christensen is back skipping and Sarah Anderson's back to playing third. So,
yeah, when you get a chance to look at the statistics a little bit later, you'll notice the statistics for fourths. They were both at the top of the leaderboard, and when they switched and we were at thirds, they were both at the top of the leaderboard. So both playing at a very high level right now.
Yeah.
So here's the Roth team. They're trying to come around this center guard. They have the hammer in this. They won the hammer in the draw shot challenge to start the game.
Just a little beyond the tee line there.
I do like this, the new WCF rule for the draw shot where two players throw, different players throughout the event. Seems to add a little more element of error, I guess. I know when we only threw, when I played with Heath McCormick and he threw every time, it seemed as though we could really get 5 or 6 good looks at a draw to the button, and it got it got pretty easy. Not easy, but the best teams were covering the pinhole just about every time, it seemed, after a while. So now there's definitely, it's a little trickier. You have to get 2 guys throwing it or 2 women. guys gender neutral there, but 2 players throwing it, and it definitely adds an element that makes it more difficult to get both players in tight.
Yeah, it seems as if everybody has to throw a counterclockwise and then a clockwise or the other way around. 2 different players, so it adds an element of skill, I think, that maybe you didn't necessarily need before. I mean, your skip always was going to be throwing. You knew what the plan was going to be. Now you have to rotate through. There's probably some strategy involved in who throws when.
We always had your best lineup too. You had your skip, who's probably the one who should be able to draw the button the best of anybody, and you had your best brushers on it. All in all, it was the best combination. So now there's a little more elements of doubt, and I don't think anybody's actually figured out the practice completely well yet with 2 players. I haven't seen a practice. It's a bit of a free-for-all yet. I don't know, maybe some other team somewhere else, but I don't know if I've seen anybody with a practice routine for it that looks like a real winner.
Well, and the trick to that is it's sort of like you have positions for practice almost, and you have to rotate through.
Yep.
So you got to learn all the different positions for practice.
And if you're like my team, I'm the rare team where the skip actually sweeps the when I'm not throwing. So looks like it's all over the red guard here. Erica probably not actually a big fan of this sort of situation, because when you're Nina Roth's team, you're playing without any fear. You're relaxed. It's easy to make a lot of shots in her situation. Their week, disappointing as it has been, is over, so they can relax out there and not really feel any pressure. I'm sure they're disappointed about the week, but it's a dangerous team to be playing a team like that.
Yeah, it seems to me in the games that we've been able to watch for Roth, they've gotten a little bit behind and then had really struggled to generate offense. They played patiently, but just weren't able to get the shots at the end that they needed.
That seems like a bad combination, Joe.
Yeah.
To be behind and then not be able to generate offense. So we've all been there. So I guess sometimes your week just doesn't go the way you'd like it to. Tight again. I thought the ice, our sheet, just the draw before, was curling a bit more than it has all week. So
yeah, it seems like some of the curl had come back into the game after a couple days where it kind of had flattened out a bit.
Now Dave Stevatag wouldn't tell me, or would never tell me, but I don't know if some sandpaper maybe came out. No, I don't know. I'm just
speculating.
But it was carving harder today than it had been. Although still just a great surface, just a terrific ice surface we get.
So plenty of rocks in play here in the first end. A little bit different than what we've seen in most of the women's games.
Well, that's just it. I think Roth will play aggressively, not and without fear. So that can be tricky.
So this is Alex Carlson.
Sounds like it has a long way to move. Starting to move. Starting to break, but it may be a little heavy if it's...
Rubbing the top. Yep. Can you? Hard. Yep.
Oh, not heavy.
Curled in there nicely.
It's a lonely sort of red in there. Well, not completely lonely. It's got some friends.
They're all the friends are all behind her except for this one.
Yeah, behind the tee line. So looks like Nina is going to try this slash. It does look like it would go if you can just miss that yellow in the top 4. There it is.
She looking at maybe trying to move.
Well, I think she was looking at slashing the yellow in the top 8.
Yeah.
Or the red in the top 8 onto the red that's wedged between those other two.
Yeah, so my tolerance
it's definitely there. It's a little close to, you have to be a little...
Keep my shooter here.
Yeah. What they're saying is if they
trying it, or we can double
they don't want to hit it too thin. Thicker would be better and leave one there that they can use. But if she just papers that yellow in the top 4 with this red that she slashes in, she should spill the red and might even leave herself lying 3 if she's lucky.
I think this is
Looks
still
like
our
that.
shot.
2
Just
for
off
sure.
those.
Want to throw firm?
Definitely wouldn't want to
Firm.
hit it thin and put it onto that other yellow. You could pick both your yellows out if you do that.
So Jamie Sinclair going to be the thrower here.
Sort of high risk, high reward, but they don't really have another really good shot.
There's a couple stagger guards out front that you don't see in the picture.
Oh,
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Close.
Hard.
Hard.
Maybe too thick. Oh, there was always that possibility.
Spun back up, leaving Brown, I think, sitting 2.
Yeah, it looks like it might be 2. They're both back button, but I think she is lying 2. There were a lot of things that had to be hit just right. Too thin wasn't very good. Too thick, as we just saw, wasn't ideal. Still probably better for them now, but if Erica locks one in here, Nina will be searching for a shot. I was talking with Steve Brown after our game. He was just back from the Paralympic World Championship. Steve Brown, Erica's father, part of the first curling of family here in the United States, the Browns, and Steve coaches the Paralympic team. They had a 5th place finish, I believe, of the Worlds. Got off to a great start and then sort of stumbled down the stretch. Lost a bunch of games in extra ends, he told me.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to him at the 5th end break of the last game.
Oh, you did already.
Yeah, very excited about the prospects of wheelchair curling going forward.
Yep, then.
Gained some valuable world qualification points, too.
Right.
Mine's good.
Well then.
This rock looks like it has a lot of curling to do.
Yep.
Might break hard though. It's starting to move now.
Hard, guys,
Now
go
it's
hard.
Looks really
starting to
good.
walk across. This could be really good.
Come on, guys,
This could
go.
really make it tough.
Oh, man.
Maybe could have even left it a hair higher, but that's pretty good. Awfully good, actually.
Yeah.
So Nina looks like she's going to try to rip this one. I don't know exactly what she's going to do with it.
I think she's hoping to peel and just give up, or not just give up, but leave one brownstone his shot.
Yep. Really has nothing on the left side that's going to work too well for her with the staggered red guards. I think her plan is just to remove the 2 back reds and maybe get out of this with just giving up a steal of 1.
Oh. Yep. Hard. Well,
It's pretty close.
shot.
It's about as good as she could do there, I think. Might leave herself some options for on her last. There is a tough in-off, I guess.
Oh, yeah. But I
I think we come right here. Yeah. You? I don't think she's got to play off that.
Erica, probably the most would conclude she's probably this most strategically sound skip in the field, perhaps. Certainly has played so many big games over the years, starting when she was just a teenager. Did you know, Joe, that my mom beat Erica Brown in the 1991 U.S. Women's Final when she was with Lisa Schoenberg?
I was aware of that, yeah.
Yes. So I think Erica was 15, maybe.
I'm not going to ask how old your mom was.
Yeah, she won't want me to talk about it either. She won't want me to suggest it. People can do the math. I will say, yeah, she wasn't young in curling age terms. I don't know. I better stop.
I think I met your mom for the first time ever this week.
Oh, yeah?
Delightful lady.
Yeah, she's all right. She's loves curling, that's for sure.
I don't know if she was so happy about your mic skills on the ice.
What, my occasional outburst, Joe? I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. I did apologize on Twitter. I'm not very good, I will say. Let's remember, everybody, I do live in New Jersey. And, yeah, I'm not the best on the ice. See right here, there's no issues.
No.
I know, but yeah.
I haven't made you angry yet, though.
Might have been better if I'd played better in games. It probably would have been better,
Actually, guard the inside of the yellow, maybe.
If it's the other way.
I don't know. I don't think she's got much.
So Eric is wondering if they take away this little chisel,
Protect the,
or do they take away the...
guard the in off.
They could just hit that one, too, that's open and take that away, and I don't know what she would have then. They could hit that yellow, peel it out, and I have no idea what
I
Nina
think we
would
should
play.
throw it away.
I mean, I think Nina's only shot is going to be that in-off or with on the yellow just touching the 8-foot.
Over there, she can run it in.
She could just she could rip that in-off out of there. But Eric is electing just to throw it away.
Don't see that very often.
Not a real good place to get. I mean, she could peel out that yellow and, with the intern, peel it out and roll. But she might end up rolling into the center and making a shot for Nina Roth.
I think she can hit enough of the center one.
Well, there is this. They could. I think can they get enough of the red that's just behind the higher guard to clip that top yellow. I think they have to just get like all of it, not just paper that other red guard.
Yeah, they'd have to cross the face of the yellow and then be
Well,
thrown with enough
yeah.
authority, right, to move
Well,
it sideways.
I think if they touch the yellow, they should score a 1, shouldn't they? If they get any piece of that yellow, that's what she's going to try. I think. Yeah, they could score 2. She touches that yellow, that red is going to go. I just don't know if she can get enough of the red
Throw a 10.
behind the staggered guard. She's going to throw a 10, so that's 10-second hog to hog. We'll see how that's.
It's a controllable kind of weight.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think she almost might want to throw it hard and just try to, and then she might end up clipping that guard on the left and still getting enough of the other one to run it in, but it's awfully tough. I don't know if she can hit enough of this to get it onto the yellow. But we'll find out.
Close.
No.
Still needs to curl quite a bit.
Needs to curl a long way. Oh, did finish. I don't know if she could have done that.
So Erica Brown with that is going to steal 1 in the first and lead 1-0. Nina Roth will retain the hammer into the second. Want to thank some folks, because due to the generosity of the curling community, this web streaming is being brought to you live. At this time, we're going to extend a special message of thanks to Bill Peskoff of the Plainfield Curling Club and Russ Lemke of the Cape Cod Curling Club, who combined contributed more than half the funds needed to ensure you're able to watch these championships live. The guy next to me on the left, Dean, helped lead that effort fundraising. I want to thank him directly for stepping up and making that happen.
Well, yeah, Joe, it was a terrific thing that Bill and Russ, they both stepped up big for this, and I did lead the fundraising effort and donated myself, but certainly it wouldn't have been possible without the generous contributions of Bill and Russ. Certainly a lot of other people as well. I'd like to note real quickly that a lot of the athletes donated as well, not in the dollar amounts of Bill and Russ, but a lot of the athletes who competed, I reached out to them. I'm the vice chair of the AAC, and I asked them to contribute. And I know a lot of them did. Heath McCormick, Craig Brown. I could go through the whole list, but those are 2 I know of, and a lot of the athletes made contributions to make this webcast happen. So we appreciate that, and we hope that people are enjoying the opportunity to watch it.
At the end of every game, we roll the credits, and in the credits it shows all the donors who contributed to the effort. We appreciate it.
I think Heath McCormick was pretty crafty. He gave $100 once and then $25 another, so he got into 2 donor groups. So his name probably comes up twice. He's a crafty. I learned he was crafty when I played for him, and it was crafty of him, I think. So
he's good at PR.
There you go. Managed it. So the first one slips a little deep, and the corner guard goes up.
Right to me. Come on. Yep. Out of way. Five.
So Erica looking to follow up the one in the back four with one in the top 8.
Such a small miss for a lead, and lead can be a frustrating position. I played it for a number of years, and it's really, I mean, you have a rock that slips all of about 2 feet too deep,
Yeah,
and
let's
it creates an awkward
higher.
end right off the rip.
Just here.
Now
Just
this
here,
one
right
looks like
here.
it's a little
Yep. Come on.
full.
Yep.
They're letting it,
All the way.
trying to get it to
All the
curl
way.
over now.
Hard, hard, hard.
Weight's better than the first one.
Nice shot.
Not bad. Would have liked to have covered that back one a little bit more, but
Makes this roll a little longer.
yeah, it makes a roll, and now there's not a double in a roll either. She crossed it the other way.
I think the curler at home can learn a lot about when to sweep and when not to sweep
9-5. Whoa.
rocks
Nine.
like these.
A lot.
You know, you sort of mentioned, well, if you're sort of on the other side of that, you can make a double and a roll. On this side, you can't.
Right. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think for recreational curlers that to learn is knowing how the shot can be made and how your sweeping can affect it. It's especially true, I think, on this kind of ice, probably perhaps more than sometimes at a curling club ice. Often on this ice, if you do sweep a draw, for instance, too hard early, it just won't curl. It'll sort of track for a while, and you want to give a rock a chance. So there's a lot of communication that has to go on to make shots successfully.
And there's more than one speed of sweeping, too.
Yeah, we hear. I mean, I know Brady Clark uses a lot of hard, clean calls. You hear a lot of. You don't hear as much of that with other teams, but he certainly uses it.
He was telling me that when he says whoa, he doesn't really mean stop. He means just clean it the rest of the way.
Yeah, just keep it clean, sure.
Yeah.
Usually the the write-off is when it's you really need something to happen.
So Roth trying to put up the corner guards, and Brown's just not having any of it.
No, no.
Doesn't have a rock really worth defending there in the back four.
This sounds like it's pitched a little wide, and I think it's going to do that.
So there you go. See what happens when I say things are going a certain way, they all change.
Yeah.
So Roth has a chance to go on the offense, come around that corner.
We just played the young Corey Dropkin rink, lost to them, and I really think those kids need to learn how to throw it harder.
Really?
Yeah, they just don't throw it hard enough.
Yeah. That's tough when you don't have that skill.
Right.
Whoa.
Just can't blow up enough rocks.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Sit.
I was worried they were damaging USCA property at times. I was concerned. So this one is going to slip. As long as it's buried, it creates a bit of a situation. So now it is deep. Erica could freeze to it and take it away, or just play it with hack, which she's electing to do. The amount of curl you get to the wings here, even though that rock on your monitor will look fully buried, in the hack it's probably 1/4 open, and the way the rock finishes, it's certainly available with a hack weight. With hack weight.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard.
Close to the guard.
Hard. Come on.
Close. Got a chance here.
Whoa.
It's
Whoa.
all
Whoa.
over.
Whoa.
So Eric calls him off because she didn't want to just tickle that guard and not move it over.
Good throw, Alex.
Looks like it's going to stick in the house.
Pushes the guard over, so even though it's late in the end, there's Erica and Alex on her next one might have a chance at a double to get themselves out of this.
Three's good. 2-3, line's
So
good.
Jamie Sinclair.
Jamie was the
Tab, stay on it.
is born in Alaska.
What happened to this?
Well, they were trying to go just top 12 here.
Shit on more.
Ooh, sound like me.
That's good.
So that curled, as you might have noticed, a little bit more. Surprised she's not playing the hit now. Now it's more available than it was on the last one. But Erica was calling for the freeze. Yeah, she can see more, Erica. Because it curled that significant amount. Jamie Sinclair actually was would have been at the World University Games with her Canadian University team, but has elected to immerse herself in the U.S. program here. One of our players who has that opportunity. Worked pretty well for Heath McCormick.
All the way.
Dual citizenship works pretty well.
Come on, hurry. You got it. Come on, push.
They gotta go to get
Close
the
to it
5.
again. I think she's.
Hard.
Oh
Oh,
boy,
just by.
papered it.
I'm exhausted watching that.
So as it stands, looks like Nina's gonna play a freeze.
Yeah, I think she's going to freeze to the one behind the corner here, and hope for a mistake, and then deal with the one in the back button for her deuce.
Hard.
I think there's a. It seems I haven't watched much of the women's, but I think
Hold it. Hold line. Yeah.
Erica seems comfortable with this team.
Go, 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 go.
I think it's one of those situations where there's no question about who's in charge, and they're probably that gives a skip a certain confidence. That was a miss.
Yeah, over curls quite a bit. Sits third shot.
Erica could draw to that one again, or she could just draw like that. It might leave her the double, but then she'd still be lying even if they make the double.
You go here, she hits and rolls into the pot.
I don't mind coming here.
She plays the double. Here she makes the double and she can roll that way. Like anything, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Do that.
I mean, she might play a freeze, but then
Right.
I can get onto her, right?
Well, then she's gonna have. Yeah, you can get on her, and she is.
You want to guard it, or no?
No.
You want to overcurl it?
We want to just overcurl it though.
So Dean, where are they placing this?
Well, they're electing to put it in the top 8 foot, and I think
We're thinking
ideally,
overcurl it a little, like just in the 4 foot kind of thing.
yeah,
But high, because I don't want her to be able to roll under the guard into the pocket.
they'd like to show her maybe about half of the one that's on the back button, or 3/4 even. Erica said it might leave her the
Yeah.
freeze, but then Erica
Little
thinks
left.
she could freeze back. What she doesn't want to do is leave her a double and a roll over into that cluster behind the corner guard. So that's why she's electing to go on the right side of the stone in the back button.
Got room. Gotta move some.
Lots of rotation. I need it in the 15
Gotta
to
move
12
still.
foot for sure.
Okay, line's good.
I think they'd like to be third shot
Yep,
here.
keep going.
I said
All the way
12 foot,
5.
but I think they'd like to be third shot.
Full 8 foot. Full 8 foot, guys. You got it. All the way. Full 8 foot. Go, 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 go. All the way hard.
Not going to be quite third shot, but still should work pretty well. In fact, it might be better there than if it was. And it looks like Nina is going to elect to freeze.
Hit it and flop here. Maybe she hits and rolls out, and they have this.
I like this. Yep.
So good having all the skips mic'd to kind of go through the process.
I want to suggest to Nina, if she was looking at the flop, I would say play the freeze, play like a 4-4 team in the last game of the round robin, and play the freeze.
Yeah,
Good for the fans at home.
that's right.
Nothing to lose here.
I think you gotta go right to it. If you're up here, she has a cross house.
Yeah.
double.
Has to be disappointing for this team. They played a lot on tour this year and certainly expected a better week than they've had. I haven't really followed the women's draw that much, so I don't know what their losses were like, if they were close games. Or I did see them lose to Debbie McCormick on last rock when a draw slipped through. Joe's going to pull it up here for me, like the pro that he is. Well, yeah, a lot of 8-4 to Sormanen, 7-5 to Corey Christensen. I did see the win over, or the loss to Debbie McCormick. That was a wild one. That was probably the one that set the tone for their week because they were ahead in that game and then they lost in an extra, right? 10-8. And they were well up in that game, I think, too. The McCormick game,
Right
that
to it,
one
guys.
there.
Line's good.
Line's good.
Room.
Line's good. Hard, guys. Finish
Yeah,
it.
they
they
were-
stole 2 in
Hard,
the
gotta
10th
go.
there.
Try zone
They were up
ball,
7-3 playing the 7th end and lost
Hard, get
10-8
go, 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 go. Hard,
in
hard,
10.
hard, hard,
Here
hard.
she
Go,
comes
go, go,
now
go,
trying to
go,
get
go,
this
hard.
frozen in there. Looks like it will be third shot.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Now Erica is probably
Yeah, we're second.
Barely.
pretty comfortable with maybe capping this, and now that those are staggered, it's going to be tough to get in there.
Guarding that.
Yeah, come right in there.
Okay. Yes.
I don't.
Hate to keep talking about my former skip Heath McCormick, but he said he always liked to play the shot in like this, and this is maybe something for curlers at home. He said he liked to
Then she's got a
also
tap.
show the other skip that he was willing to play that shot versus just a guard to really put the pressure on,
Play the
I
guard.
mean, we can throw.
make the other skip look at a bigger number.
Yeah,
I just
if
think it
Erica
makes
does
that
make this,
easier
she's
than there. I don't know.
going to sit 3.
I mean,
Yeah, it's still for one.
she doesn't
You
really
like
have
the
to
grunt
worry.
rather than the guard?
Here or here?
It's gonna be hard to miss that, isn't it? If we're there, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we can guard. Let's guard.
So after all that, they've elected to guard. I mean, she could have played the come around to the top button here, and comfortable that even if she left the slash double, it's probably it's just for
You know,
just
like
for
then she
one.
can come right off of it if we draw in there on that side. That's why.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
I don't even see a slash double getting her 1. Might give up 1.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, actually, Erica's saying that she's worried that she puts it out there, it might make her path in easier with the out turn than not having it there, which is certainly, I think, good thinking. I mean, it does seem like she could put one just top button, even half buried, but certainly a good
I'm
call.
good.
You're up 1,
Where?
playing the second end against a team that's struggling.
You can't get in the house. Where is it?
Well,
definitely don't want to
they might-
juggle the angles here.
They might have to fall on it if they don't want it in the house, though. So she's going to maybe tap it up here. This is not going to be good. She's going to make this one. Don't line it up. Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Makes
Oh.
it second shot rock, too.
Second shot, but I don't know if she hurt herself too much.
I don't think it's lined up real well.
Not lined up really well to get in there for the... No, it looks like if you hit the red-yellow combinations going over the top of that red shot rock in the back button. So
I don't
neat.
think so. I was looking at it, but I just don't want to give up 2 if we miss it, right?
Yeah, you'd wonder if the drag, they might be a little, the separation might be too much for much drag.
The draw might be
Close.
easier. Yep.
Take a little more ice. She basically has to draw the T line here and have it hook in to catch the edge of the button. It's not a fun draw when you look at that one.
Further. What? We're out of foot.
So she's saying they're out a foot further than they were for the draw shot challenge.
Line's good. Line's good. Becca.
They're switched here to try to promote some finish. Needs to be swept.
Hard.
Line looks
Close.
really good.
Line does look good. If they get it there, it's going to hook right in. Looks really good if they get it there.
Oh, just
Oh.
rubs that.
1 red.
Just
Boy,
a little light.
Little light, and the rocks are really finishing right now. So
So Brown's going to steal 1 more. Go up 2-0 after 2. Curling fans have responded to the return of the World Financial Group Continental Cup to Las Vegas in such enormous numbers that the original room block of 1,230 rooms at the Orleans Hotel and Casino are sold out. To meet our demand, the Orleans has responded by coming up with an additional 100 rooms, which are now on sale. A very moderate price increase puts the cost of the hit and stay 5-night package with Old Classic ticket package for one person at $800 US. Double accommodation, including 2 Old Classic packages, is $1,038 US. You can find the link to book at usacurl.org. These are the last rooms available at the Orleans, which is adjacent to the competition area. Organizers are making arrangements for additional rooms and packages at other nearby properties, and those details will be announced in the coming days. So, time to book if you're going to go to Las Vegas for the Continental Cup.
Are you heading to Vegas, Joe? Brian, you guys going?
They haven't invited us yet. We may make the trip just because. It sounds like fun.
What do you guys like? You seem like craps players. Craps players? I'm a terrible gambler, by the way. I don't even.
Right in.
I don't gamble and like that. I gamble plenty, but not on casinos.
That's good. Okay, good shot, Kendall.
So Kendall brings the rock into the 8-foot.
We're having a little bit of these things that happened to us today. That early one, even with the right weight, over curling, we just couldn't take enough ice. And Mark Lazar, my lead today, had 2 rocks that definitely curled a little more, and we had a heck of a time trying to find the center line with them a few times.
Quick scoreboard update on some of the games of importance. Christensen takes 2 in the second with the hammer, leads Patty Lake 2-0, and Sormanen and Bird are tied at 2.
Give it a tap.
So if Sormanen wins, she is in the 1-2 game, and with the points race, would, I think, be assured of being the Team USA rep at the Worlds.
8-9.
If I have that right.
That's my understanding.
No line.
7-8.
No line.
Some interesting scenarios on the men's side tomorrow as well.
Yep.
Could be as many as 6 teams
Yeah, right around.
tied at
Yep.
4 and 5.
Right.
Yep. Come on.
Or what inevitably
Yeah.
happens with these things is it all works out and there are no
Whoa.
tiebreakers.
Right.
But yeah, there could be a gigantic cluster of teams at 4 and 5. We'd have to call that the
Nice weight.
mediocrity game if everybody's playing and those sort of things. The mediocrity tiebreakers.
Well, whoever would come out of that would probably have 2 more wins, so
Right. That's true.
improve their record quite a bit.
I remember in 2013 there were 7 teams still alive after the round robin. A bunch of us clustered at 5 and 4. And we had to play Pete Fenson in the 6-7 game. And during the meeting, he asked the officials to stop calling it the 6-7 game because it was too depressing. I was just happy we won the 6-7 game that year. We didn't want to lose the 6-7 game. And then we played the 5-7 game after that to get into the 3-4 game. That's the journey. Then we were out of gas.
Wow, how do you play a 3-4 game if you're the 6 or 7?
Well, we eventually worked our way up to the
I
3-4 game. It was if you win the 6-7 game, then you're the
Then you get reseeded.
then you're the 6th team.
I see. All right.
And then you play the 5th team. If you win that one, you're the 4 team.
Sold bowling for dollars. It's ladder there.
Yeah, it's quite a journey from the 6-7 game into the playoffs. Not one I would recommend taking at a U.S. Nationals. I doubt it's been a successful path in ever.
I don't know. Brady Clark seems to do pretty well in those situations.
Well, Brady, that was the year Brady captured the national championship in 2013, and we lost to him in the 3-4 game. So he came through. He came through the group at 5 and 4.
I think he didn't have to play that 6-7 game. That might have been the difference.
No, we had the extra 6-7 game.
Yeah.
The 6-7 game.
Yep. Hard line. Go, 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 go. Hard, girls. Yep.
Becca has pretty good line here. If it's just going to finish on it, though.
Little bounce off gives Brown a chance to hit this a little bit on the high side.
Becca, is often skipped or played third. She's moved to second this year, and I think she really put a lot of effort into her training and fitness, playing a front-end position. Good for her. It's probably disappointing again this week that it hasn't paid off like she would have liked it to have, but
Yes.
what I really hope for a lot of these high performance teams, even if they don't qualify for Worlds, is that they stick it with it. And I know that there's been improvement throughout the year. It's just they just got to keep going and work together. Maybe there's some shuffling of things after the year's over, but even the players that didn't choose to go to high performance or didn't make it have kind of reformed, and there's some pretty strong teams out here.
Well, Erica Brown's team, for instance.
Yeah.
Erica is not in the program currently, and they had an up and down season on tour. But they may be starting to find a groove. And like I said, I think it's a good combination for Erica. 3 younger players and herself. Like I said, it's good, I think, for her to be the undisputed leader of the team, and I think this team could continue to develop.
Yeah.
Deb McCormick's team looked at times like they could do well. It looks as though is Courtney in the. Deb's not skipping tonight, I don't think, over on sheet A. Looks as though Courtney George is skipping, and
Amelia's in the house.
Amelia's in the rings there at 3 and 5 and out of it, so I guess they decided to shuffle things up.
Oh, take a look.
Deb's wearing the Snow Leopard shirt today.
Yes.
10, 11.
10, 11.
Don't leave it next to it.
Yep, then hard, really hard, all the way by.
10, 11, not the call you want to hear. They're going to try to take it right behind that rock in the back 4. Which was a good audible, considering certainly didn't want to leave it right next to them.
So, Dean, followed you a little on Facebook. Are congratulations in order?
Yes, I'm engaged, Joe, so that's exciting. Great woman, Amy Brewer. Certainly people from a lot of people in curling have met. Not that she is a curler, but she's certainly been at a number of curling events. So this happened quite recently. So yeah, it's relatively recent news.
Congratulations.
Just before. So yeah, it is exciting. She's great. She's she actually knows a bit about curling just from watching. It's funny when you introduce someone to she started watching, I guess, in coming to events 2012 and things, and I was playing with Heath, and then would watch us as we were trying to get to the Olympic spot in that run, and then has started curling a little bit at my club. It's tough to get in a league. We have a tough time getting a league night together, but we've been in a spiel. She's runner-up in the A event in her only spiel. I played second with another couple. But one of the things that's funny is she's used to people making a lot of shots. Maybe not me, but my teammates. So she
Like same thing?
I always find curlers who do that. There's a photographer for the Grand Slams, Anil Mungal. He does all the great photographer, does all the photography for the Grand Slams, and he said he started curling after just doing the photography for a number of years, and he goes out to the Thornhill Golf and Country Club and wonders why everybody's not playing angle runs for 3 and freezing 4 rocks on top of each other. And
there's a phenomenon at our club that happens just around this time of year when the Scotties and the Briar and this broadcast come on, that everybody wants to play those shots.
Right.
Games slow down to a crawl, and our time limit runs out, and play maybe 6 ends.
Everybody starts to think, well, I'll just leave myself this angle run for 3 here. I can make that, and yeah.
So back to the game here.
Yeah, we got a lot of chatter, but people can watch. They're watching.
Yeah.
Looks like Erica Brown could bust this thing open right here.
Yeah, she's
although she doesn't have the hammer, but
looks like they're just going to hit the one in the back.
Yeah. If she gets a mistake. But yeah, Nina still has a freeze here to get herself out of the end. But it certainly hasn't gone well when you're trying to get your deuce, and Erica's about to lie 5. But Nina certainly can get a skip's deuce here with a good freeze.
So Christensen steals 2 in the third end, has a 4-0 lead over Patty Lank over on sheet D.
Now it looks as though Patty Lank's daughter isn't playing that game, so she's not playing against her daughter. She has her daughter on her team, but Mackenzie Lank isn't in the game. Bill Stopera on my team played his son Andrew today, and we heard,
We heard all about that.
Yeah, and
How much you dislike him.
Yes,
As-
a tick.
as-
I've never seen a tick get closer to the foam without hitting the foam, and I was sweeping it. I couldn't believe it didn't hit the foam
You know why it didn't get there?
because I didn't hit it hard enough.
No,
Is
you
that
didn't
reason?
use the rink rat.
Yeah, well, the rink rat it wouldn't even got close. You can't sweep with the rink rat near the foam. It just catches the foam. Terrible. So Nina here has a freeze to try to salvage something in this end. You can hear a bit of laughter from them. They're not. Just got to lock it right on there. At least lock it in a way that Erica has to take a good run at it and leave her a relatively easy draw for one, and keep this game from busting open. I imagine if the Roth team gets down too much, they might shake hands early if they got down a lot.
Felt pretty good. No?
Oh boy,
Hard, girls, go.
Nina thought it felt pretty good, and then they seemed to think no. That looks like it might be indicative of the kind of week she's had. She's going to actually leave this guarding the one in the back of the button there. Sort of guarding, and now we'll see Erica Brown, if she can sort of Christmas tree this, it will be very difficult for Nina Roth to score.
I'd rather be.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
center line.
I mean, even if
That's the Christmas tree there. There you go.
Go.
Yeah, that's right. But so if she shows her, like, I like that. Well, no, I think it's just the angle. Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, in this case, I think the base of the Christmas tree would be sort of the rock in the back button there, and then the tree would come out like that from there. But
Skip's up here, always using their hand motions to describe something. They can't see you.
yes, I know, I just did that. But I think, yeah, ideally you leave this one half buried behind the yellow, biting the four, biting even the button, and then it becomes very difficult for Nina to score.
Line pull tight.
Mikey can go really hard.
So if you don't know already, Dean's the host of the Curling Show,
Line's good.
That's true, I am.
Hey,
the
Wilden.
podcast that brings you what? How does it go?
Good.
Interviews with the sports top athletes and the people who shape the game, Joe.
There you go. And
Go ahead,
so he interviews some of the best curlers in the world.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've done almost 250 interviews now at thecurlingshow.com, and it's been a great. I mean, I when I got back into curling more seriously, I actually had less time for it, but I try to do a couple a month. I don't always get that these days, but yeah, it's been a great opportunity for me to talk to the world's top players about all aspects of the game. So I've been really fortunate in the fact that I've been able to do that. I've learned a lot about curling from those conversations. Led to a friendship with John Morris that led to a book that we wrote together, and then I was fortunate enough to get on a team that had some success down here, and then ended up, playing more on tour against some of the same players I was interviewing. So it's been an interesting journey.
So Nina Roth here, drawing against 6.
Yeah, Erica's didn't work out too well there, but so the button is certainly available.
Right on tee, yep.
Sweeping
Line
this
looks
coast
good.
to coast.
Line looks good if they get it there. Line looks really good if they get it there.
Get a piece, go.
Oh,
I think they're going to give up one.
I think it's just a hair short. Yeah, one red.
Still pretty good, drawing against 6.
Yeah.
Just gives up one. Wish my Wednesday night league was going that well. So it's Brown 3, Roth nothing after 3. Who's the best on Wall Street or in all of corporate Manhattan when it comes to curling? We're going to find out at Chelsea Piers, March 12th, and send the winners home with a cool new trophy that will back up their bragging rights. USA Curling is planning to hold the first Manhattan Curling Cup at Chelsea Piers on Thursday, March 12th. This unique experience is limited to 20 teams and includes coaching and instructions with Olympians Pete Fenson and Jessica Schultz. Plus USA Curling honorary team captain Vernon Davis, two-time Pro Bowl tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. At its core, this is a fundraiser to help support America's up-and-coming and elite curlers dedicated to putting USA back on the top of the podium. But it's also an exclusive opportunity for you to bring your business partners and colleagues out for an evening of camaraderie with just the right mix of competitiveness. Along with dinner and refreshments, every participant will also receive their own customized carbon fiber curling broom. Get all the details at usacurl.org. Look for the link to Curling in NYC. So if you want to ask Dean a question while he's here in the booth, it's real easy. All you got to do is use the hashtag 2015Nats or post something to our Facebook page at 12th End Sports. If you do so, your tweet might get put on the web stream just like this. Dorothy Roach from Rochester writes, Dean,
Dorothy.
come to the Rochester Invitational Bonspiel, the Rib.
Oh, the Rib, yes.
Yeah, it's an open Bonspiel in Rochester.
What are the dates, Joe?
It's towards the end of March.
And why is it called the Rib?
It's Rochester Invitational Bonspiel.
Oh, international.
Yeah, international. We get teams from Canada to come down.
Sure. Well, it's not exactly like you're that far from Canada, Joe.
No, it used to be the closest curling club to Rochester was Niagara Falls, Canada. Now
Right.
it's Buffalo.
Yes, they are. They are. There was an old curling club in Buffalo years ago that closed, and now they're back at it again on skating ice, I guess, right?
Yeah,
But,
it's outdoor skating ice with a open air kind of roof thing.
right. That's what we have in Brooklyn. We're at Curl NYC. We're doing that in Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
We talked a little bit before about a significant other starting curling. I have a girlfriend who started curling this year.
Oh yeah.
She decided she didn't want to learn in Rochester because she didn't want me to see her start, so she kept it a secret until about 2 days before. She said, I'm going to Buffalo for a Learn to Curl class. So she decided to travel about an hour and a half out there. Then she got some shoes from a friend who lived in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, sent them to her. Then she goes to the Learn to Curl classes in Rochester. She's got these shoes. She's sliding out to like halfway down the sheet. Everyone else has got a step-on slider and is barely making it out of the hack. It was funny. She got picked up on a Friday night league team almost immediately. So she really enjoys it. And,
Is she
we're
going
gonna
to
play.
actually
We're
curl
gonna
in
play
Rochester?
it. We're gonna play the Rib.
You're
Yeah, she
gonna
did.
play
She
the
did.
Rib.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
now
play
she's curling in Rochester.
Yes, she
Good.
is. So
Well, I actually grew up curling in Niagara Falls, Ontario, which I think might have the one of the biggest U.S. memberships outside of the U.S.
yeah,
Probably the biggest, I would imagine. Great club. That's where I grew up playing.
yeah. And I've played out there a couple times. We have friendly competitions between Rochester and Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's where I learned to play, and great club, big 6-sheet club with a big roof of epic height.
Yes,
Keep going. Keep going.
a little cavernous in there.
It is. They probably didn't think too much about the heating costs when they built that place, but I don't think you'd build a curling club with quite a roof quite that high anymore.
No.
Oh, is that? So is she gone for the rest of the week now? That's why.
So
Got it.
Dean, they can't hear Brian.
Yes,
So-
they can't.
So
Sorry.
Dorothy Roach also tweeted in that Mackenzie Link had to go back to work, so she'd have enough time to go to Junior World. So that's why she's not playing the second half of this draw.
Yep. Atta girl.
I knew that about Brian, that he wasn't heard by the viewers at home, and I tired and forgot it.
No one blames you. He talks with such confidence that
Whoa, no.
Well, he's an engaging.
Oh,
engaging,
absolutely.
So I feel like I should respond.
you can't shut him up either.
Right.
Yep.
So here's Erica's going to hit the lie 3. Really another comfortable end for her right now. She's started off well with lead rocks positioned well, and Nina's going to make a decision to deal with those ones now. She does have one buried behind the corner guard. There's a missed peel there. And, so Nina is going to try to make this this double and try to lie maybe 1-3 after it. first and third shot.
Yep.
Becca Hamilton throwing this.
Yes, hard.
Becca, another Madison Curling Club
Go, 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 go.
curler. Says
Go, go, go. Hard, hard, hard.
just would have loved to have moved that out a little bit further to bring that one behind the corner guard into play, but it may not be in a bad spot for them as the end progresses. Behind the tee line and somewhat behind the corner guard.
10.
On your left-hand side, you can see some of the statistics for this event.
There's the Team Roth statistics. Let's break it down. What went wrong for them this week?
If I were going to say the points against stolen, it's probably...
14 steals. That's a lot. And
I mean, they did well. I mean, their plus-minus on steals is pretty good.
yeah,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
It's their record and their results so far.
worked out pretty well for Erica. She's going to lie 3.
9-5.
Didn't want to roll quite that far, I don't think, but it's not the worst spot. Nina could make this double. Stay right there. Doesn't really need the double yet, but comes Jamie Sinclair's rock on the way. It looks like this has got some curling to do. Yes.
Ticks the brown rock over.
Tickles it over, and now Erica is in full command of this end, I think. In fact, she's just pondering where to put this one.
And I talked before about the rankings of each player, and they're on the left now. You can see Christensen and Anderson just trading spots, whether it's fourth or third,
Okay.
just leading the field.
So team percentage-wise, Jamie Sinclair's quite high. She's third.
Alex Carlson fourth.
What's the weight?
No.
Among the seconds,
Close.
is that Mackenzie Lank at 84.9?
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Amelia Usis at 80.6%.
Yochis.
Yochis.
I got Twitter
Could there
about
be,
this today.
Could there be a more difficult name to pronounce in curling, though? And I think I've asked her how it works, but
So Brown sitting 4.
Sherry Schumer on Team Burt is the number 2 lead, although I have a theory, and it looks like in some ways it's playing out there well. I think teams that struggle, their leads are always statistically quite high because you end up throwing a lot of corner guards. So if your team is lower in the standings and you say you have your lead at a high spot, it's often because you're down in games and chasing.
Lots of room. Mine's getting better.
You can see the men's standings now on the left.
There are the men's standings. So
Dean right smack dab in the middle.
right, so we have a game against John Schuster tomorrow, and would need that to get into some sort of tiebreaker playoff scenario. There's the women's, where the top 4 are established. It's really a matter of who plays who at this point. Aileen Sormanen looking to win her game and get into the 1-2 game and assure herself
Let's do 10.
of being Team USA at the Worlds.
Right now she's down 3-2 to Burt. Burt steals one in the third.
I think so.
I mean, you got a lot of clearance by it, but if you get rid of it, that's fine. 10?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Erica's electing to play at the shot stone here. Move it out. Well, there's the story in that game. Erica Brown's team at 82% and Nina Roth's team at 65%, and a huge gap at the third or fourth thrower position.
You know, doesn't surprise me much in that second end. Nina had 2 shots that were practically impossible.
Right.
So you can see that the degree of difficulty 2.7. That's about as high as we've seen so far this week.
Yep, then.
Whoa.
Hard, hard, hard.
This rock is curling.
Hard.
Yep,
She
hard.
might have tipped it just a little bit.
Whoa.
I think she's going to be on the red. So all of a sudden, Nina Roth has a deuce has just opened up for her.
Draws her around the draws around that one in the 12. Can sit 2.
I think if she puts this in a good spot, Erica will elect to hit the what might be hit the open one and concede a deuce, up 3-0.
Probably gonna hit the open one anyway.
See, Jamie agrees.
Does that look good?
Yeah?
Sometimes you just have to take your medicine and know you're giving up 2.
Well, you know, when you get out to a 3-0 lead and you go into sort of a prevent defense style, and it's easy to have the gimme deuce suddenly pop out. Although this wasn't a gimme deuce, it was that last shot was certainly available for Erica. Not the easiest spot in the ice, but certainly was available.
So if we have one more draw for the men, starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Then if we have tiebreakers,
Line's good.
they're on tap for noon and 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Got a lot of room, guys. Right here. Yep,
I think
yep.
Courtney George might have just taken 5.
Hard, gotta go, hard. Hard, keep going, go, hard.
Oh, and she didn't get in for
Second shot.
second shot, which was so that certainly gives Erica an opportunity now. If she can nose this, sit there, Nina will have a hard time scoring too. Even if she just removes it, Nina is going to have to deal with that the red that would be shot. Erica in a make it go away mode.
Queen, yep. Yep, right to it, yep.
On it right away, but
Yep, hard.
looking like it's going to get
Hard,
it,
yep.
make the hit. How much
Look at-
roll will she get?
I don't think she's going to stick around, so there will be there is a shot for 2 there that I think Nina will probably have a run at. They're looking at it to see, I guess, who's, well, no, it's pretty obvious. It must be red is shot.
Yeah, I think they're thinking about having to split this yellow, nudge
Yep.
it forward, and then roll their shooter into the 8-foot.
Yep, that's they're saying they have to try it.
Even if your shooter goes.
Just the split.
What are you throwing, T-line then?
I think so.
Yeah, she could hit the high red when spill in to be shot, but she's saying she's just going to play the straight split. I guess she could also just
Okay.
bump that yellow into the red and spill her
Yeah,
shooter
just back forward.
across. Oh, John Schuster's joined us in the booth. John Schuster topped the standings at 7-1, followed by Craig Brown at 6-2.
Dean, you said his name and he appeared. You got anybody
Yes.
else you want to mention?
Yeah, we're playing John in the morning, so I've actually got about 4 pitchers of beer for him inside there. If he's interested in those. Our micro-sponsor dollars at work.
Putting them to good use. I
We
like
still
that.
have an envelope of micro-sponsor dollars that we'll be happy
Easy then.
to put to good use.
Gotta move.
That has to move a
boy.
long way. It will go, but I don't know if it's going to go that much. Trying. I think it's going to go by. And this game will go to 4-0 for Erica Brown.
I'm going to take a look, but certainly looks like red.
Confirmed, I guess. Although it seemed like an You got some announcements to make, Joe?
I always have an announcement
I
to
like
make.
the announcements.
So every summer, junior curlers have the opportunity to beat the heat at junior camps across the country. Keep an eye out for more information on these camps in the coming months. It's a great way for juniors to tune up during the off-season while making connections with curlers from around the country. So catching up on the scores, still 4-1, Christensen over Lank. And Sormanen and Burt are now tied at 3. Burt has the hammer, and they're in the 5th end.
That's actually the biggest game on the ice right now. Sorman and Burt, the most important in terms of who will be the United States World Representative. There's certainly some other teams on the ice cheering for Burt in that one.
So Kendall Beam.
Yeah, I think Courtney George is skipping the McCormick rink, and they took 5, right? Yeah, and there was a cluster of granite there that was unbelievable right around the side of the forefoot.
So McCormick / George has an 8-3 lead now over Kimbopola.
There's another one curling with the weight right, but just curling across a little too far, further than they would have liked. Team Erica Brown. This is when it has to be really hard for the Roth team. You know, it's been a long week. They haven't had the success they'd hoped, and now you're down 4-0 in the last draw on the last night.
In a game that other people may need, but you don't.
Right. So you have to keep playing. It does matter. I mean, you know, were Erica to fall to 6-2 instead of, or 7-2, I guess.
Yep, 7-2.
That would matter to some other teams. So, you know, like all curlers, I think they're giving it their best, but it's certainly difficult to really feel good about it at this point.
7, 8, 9, 8, 9.
Okay, go ahead, yep.
Erica's going to try to bring another one right on top there.
All the way.
Well, they're going to try to go right around it, actually, 8-9, so they're going to try to bury it behind the one in the top 4, or biting the top 4.
You even have the super heavy ones.
Joking that she's been light a bit. And then even when she's in the back, they have to drill it.
No, those leads, no one's ever happy with them.
It's a horrible position, Joe. It really is. Played it for a number of years. It's awful.
Where are we?
It's a mental disaster. It's not much fun, to be honest.
Yep.
I say that, and yet the career leads certainly are some of the most valuable players, but it's tough.
How's that transition been for you to go from kind of front end to skip this year?
Well, I'm a better front end player. Let's put it that way. I'm an honest evaluator of my talents, and but it's been fun. You know, we came into this with certainly different expectations than we've had in the past. So, but the challenge is once you get out there, you want to be competitive and you want to make everything, and when you don't, it's frustrating. So, I mean, I enjoy skipping actually more than I thought I would, and I got a great bunch of guys with me. But I think I'd enjoy it. I would have enjoyed this week of skipping a tiny bit more if I'd made a couple more shots at certain times. But I think that's true of all skips probably, except for the ones who don't miss.
So at our 5th end break, we've got Bill Stopera, your vice, going to be the guest. You had any questions for me to ask him?
Oh, yeah. You have Bill and his son Andrew on. Yeah, that'll be, you know, his son Andrew plays on Corey Dropkin's team. And we just lost to them. But, yeah, no, Bill's a great friend of mine. We played together for, oh, boy, far too long. This might be our 7th or 8th year together. I'm not sure. Various combinations. But I played a long time with Bill, and we have a spirited friendship, I would say. If anybody heard on the webcast, they might have heard a bit of that. Lots of back and forth and arguing, the way a lot of good curling friendships are. So I don't know what to ask him, though. Don't ask him about politics. That never goes well for me, though. So I'd avoid that. So Erica in peel mode, trying, and looks though like she's going to flash this one, but maybe pick out the back one.
Alrighty. Okay, no problem.
The alrighty call. Rebecca Funk flashing on the corner, but picking out the one that was buried behind the corner. So Jerry Gertz came in and showed us the final rankings for the Draw Shot Challenge here at the 2015 Curling Nationals, and we see Eileen Sormanen is atop of the Draw Shot Challenge rankings. Nina Roth here at 4-4 is number 2. So interesting. Kate Burt number 3, also 3 and 5. Deb McCormick's 3 and 5 going in this last round. In fact, it's sort of interesting. A lot of the lower ranked teams are higher in the Draw Shot Challenge, except for Eileen Sormanen. I like that they call it the Draw Shot Challenge now versus the LSD. Although some of the officials are still calling it the LSD, but I do like the Draw Shot Challenge versus prepare for your LSD.
Hard, guys, yep.
Go. Hurry. Right up.
Hold it hard.
Right
Hard,
up.
guys, go.
Go, Kendall.
Yep.
They're going to cover the one in the top 4 a little bit. Not quite getting all the corner guard peels that make you comfortable when you have a lead.
You just tap.
Okay.
Look at another a tweet here that Brian Anderson has put up. They had these rocks here, the Kalamazoo Curling Club. There's a spice company in town, Calsec Curl, or not Calsec Curl, Calsec, I think is the name of the spice company. And apparently back in the 60s, they built a one-sheet curling rink at their factory or something. And they had these old rocks that are bizarre-looking stones. They're black on top. They look like they're sort of odd. They're sort of like curling stone shape, but they're a little off if we see that picture again. But they're a little funky. But apparently they had one sheet in the basement or something back in the 60s. The owner decided to, and they have these old rocks now. Maybe we should make the final. We should make the teams play with those rocks. See how that goes. They look like they might break. I'm not sure they're Elsa Craig granite. I'd be shocked if they were.
You know, I'm sure the juniors could play with them no problem. They wouldn't break at all.
Yeah, the team. Yeah, Mark Fenner there. Yeah, have him. He could obliterate those rocks. I think in a few throws.
Yeah, just don't go too crazy for the roll.
So they had you sign those?
Yeah, they had all they did that in 2010 too, I believe. They had all the competitors. There are 2 of them. They had all the competitors sign both of them, and I think they auction one off as a fundraiser, and they keep the other one as part of their Kalamazoo Curling Club history. They have a great group out here. Here's Alex Carlson. She wants to make sure she gets at least the back one there. Yep. Didn't want to. Oh, sort of a fortunate roll under there too.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you might have to say a sorry for that one. But they have a great group here in Kalamazoo. They're curling and skating ice. They started the club, I think, in 2008, and they're really working hard to get a dedicated facility, the dream of all the skating ice clubs. And I think this would be a good community for a curling facility. I lived here for the better part of 8 years, and I truly believe curling would do well.
You can always come back to this one.
So they typically curl here at Wings Stadium where we are, and there's 3 rinks here, and they curl in one. But my parents said they went over and watched a bit of the league play that was underway the other night, and they started on one sheet, and they started on sheet 5, and it was so bad in the first end that they decided to switch over to sheet 2 for the second end and continue the game over there, which I thought was creative anyways. Is that Bill Stopera up here complaining about how much I'm talking?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Dean, we had
Gotta go, guys.
a bucket on the ice early in this
Line's real good.
week with a drip coming from the ceiling. You ever seen that before where they played through something like that?
You know, we had that in Green Bay, actually, in 2013. Similar situation.
Goal line now.
I don't remember, but I do remember them having to come out and take care of it. I think Brady Clark drew around it. Drew around the mound on the ice against us. He had us wired. He didn't have a guard, and he drew around the mound on the ice. No, he didn't, but there was a mound that one of his rocks actually hit the mound once.
I've never seen anybody hold a bucket, though, and there's a rock or a person came by, lift it up, move it out of the way.
I have seen that at Scotty's and Briars, I think.
Oh, yeah?
They come out and, yeah.
We're in good company then.
Sure.
We don't want to be behind T though, right? Top button. We can't.
Another tweet here.
Yeah.
Linus keeping tabs on the ladies tonight.
Well, there you go. They've got the web stream up on the computer monitor, and they've got the Scotties up on the television. That's good curling action.
Dean, we found that pets are our best fans. We get pictures of them all the time.
Joe, we're just talking about supporting the webcast. Now we're saying pets are the biggest fans of it.
You know, if they can keep pets occupied, so
Right.
that's always a good thing, too.
Here's Erica Brown about to put some more pressure. You know, Erica hasn't had really a single shot that I wouldn't call offensive, and she's always had lots of opportunities just to put more pressure on and isn't having to make any shots to take pressure off herself. Just another one where she can put Nina Roth in a very difficult spot. They want to get it by. They don't. Erica's yelling hard, but they don't seem to be going that hard yet because they think it's a little heavy, which it looks like it is. Wow, that might be really good.
Great, sweet face.
Yeah.
That's good. Boy. Had to get by. It could rub and leave double on those.
Just got it by. She would have liked to have been a hair higher, but
Yeah, there's just no room for Nina, it seems.
no. I mean, Nina's faced a lot of these kind of shots.
Yeah. Now we're showing a degree of difficulty of 1.26. That doesn't seem right.
Thought her-
And that percentage doesn't
Unless it
seem
was
right.
122.6 degree of difficulty. It's been very, I mean, I don't think she's had anything easy. And here's another one where she's, even though it's slightly behind the tee, she's got a set of staggered rocks in front of it, and she can see probably about half of it from the hack when she's trying to freeze onto. This is when you want to, this is when you wish maybe you could just get off the ice, to be honest.
Good.
Nina is a student at Edgewood College. Jamie's
Hard. Yep. Whoa.
Billy just hit Dean.
this is like my typical relationship with Billy. He hits me in the back and then doesn't say anything. I don't even understand it.
Bill, you're going to get your chance to talk. Don't worry.
Bill is itching to be interviewed here, Joe.
I don't have any questions for him, so it's going to be an interesting interview. I'm just going to give Bill the mic and let him go. He's probably got a list in his pocket.
Yeah. See, the reason I'm talking so much, Joe, is I might leave early since I play at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
That's
so
right. Got to get it all in.
I may, I got a lot to get in here in 5-6 ends.
Still haven't even talked about curling in New York City.
Yeah, we got to cover that. Boy, we got a lot to get through. I hope I can wrap it up shortly, and then we've got to interview Bill here at the break. Here comes Erica with it. I mean, boy, if she welds one on top here, she might just. I don't know how Nina's going to score,
A little bit less.
or else she's just throwing. She might just be guarding. I missed it. It's
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
think
ice stuff
any
for the
kind of
weld.
guard here is going to
I think she's just guarding.
get one. Little wobble out of the hack.
Really, from Erica? No.
Just a hair.
Just
enough to notice.
we call that being an artist. Someone who knows a bit about artistry in my own throws. I'm not quite as accomplished as Erica, but it's all about shot making. Yeah, learned a lot about shot making from Heath.
Yeah, Heater's kind of lost a little of that drift.
You're right, Joe. Heath did change his deliveries. He doesn't drift as much as he did. Interestingly enough, when we were at one of the high performance training camps in 2013, John Benton put the video camera in all of us, and despite what Heath's body is doing, the rock is incredibly online. So the body may consistently he was in the track on the video on the whatever that system is they use. He was
Right.
consistently right in the pipe, no matter where his body might be. So there you go. There's a lot of ways to curl. We see a lot of different curling deliveries. I think it's important to There's some fundamentals everybody has to learn, but I think it's important to create a delivery that works for you.
So, Dean, I need to prepare my interview.
All right.
So I'm going to leave you to call the rest of this shot.
Yeah, we're going to watch Nina Roth. They've just walked away from this one. I don't even know what happened there. Did she red light it? They just stopped. They just gave up on it. Maybe it was that light. She was really wide with it. Maybe they decided it was that light. That will be, I think, 2 for Erica Brown.
Did it look over?
Oh, it was a red light. She red lighted that one. Great. That's what you need when you're down 4-0. You red light it. Another 2 for Erica Brown, and they take a 6-0 lead into the break. And I think now I'm going to turn it over here to Joe Calabrese and the Stoperas.
I'm trying to see. My mic wasn't working for a second. I think it's back now. I'll hold on to it. I'm here with Andrew and Bill Stopera. Welcome to the webcast.
Thanks, Joe.
So you guys faced off against each other in the last draw. What was that like? Had you ever done that before in a competition quite like this?
No, not even close. Maybe Saturday morning league.
Yeah.
I won that one though.
Oh. So you're 1-1?
No, I'm like 5-1.
Oh, all right. That's good.
Since he won today, he feels good about himself.
I don't blame him. You gonna let him answer a question?
Maybe not.
Andrew, you guys also played GNCC clubs. You won that, right?
Yeah.
And so when is Club Nationals?
I think it's the March 7th or 8th or something like that, and for that week. So
Great. Must be pretty cool to be able to play in a national competition with your father, or even with him or against him.
yeah, I mean it's cool to be here as it is, and especially to get to play him is a pretty cool experience. Didn't expect it coming into the year, but it's been pretty fun.
Right. And Andrew, you're part of Team Dropkin. You're in a 5-man rotation. Talk to me a little bit about your role.
Me and Luke Violet, we rotate most of the games at lead, and it's been different. I'm used to playing most of the games, but it's been a good experience. I got to play in some things that I've never played in before. Got to play in nationals, which I'm doing now, and it's been a good year. I played well.
Getting to travel quite a bit, I bet.
Yeah, a lot of days off of school and stuff.
So how do you feel about that, Pop?
Corey's team, they've done an awesome job all year. Got to watch him a few times, so that was pretty cool. He's probably going to miss 30, 35 days of school.
Wow.
So it's amazing he's going to actually graduate on time. And actually, your grades really haven't suffered, so we've been pretty fortunate. So
It's good parenting.
Well, it really shows his dedication because he's practicing, 5 to 7 days a week, and he also has got to do his homework and, work out and everything else that they expect of him.
So, Bill, talk to me a little bit about the micro sponsorships that your team has kind of collected, and about the process, and not necessarily about the controversy necessarily about it, but just the thought process behind it.
Well, Dean's goal was really just try to get us some money so that we could defer some cost. The event is probably going to run us, $2,000 to $3,000 at least per player, and because right now we're not sharing rooms,
right?
Which is making it even worse. Most teams share rooms, but we were fortunate enough, to not have to do that. Although I don't really share a room, so for me personally, I'm always by myself.
I have any idea why that would be, Bill. Why is that?
I don't know. I'll share a room with my family, but I don't need to be with anybody else.
I understand. It makes perfect sense. So, what's next, Andrew, for you? After this year, you gonna stick with you try to stick with the high performance type program. What's next for you?
I'm gonna plan on trying out again, and we'll see what happens if I make it again, and go from there. Pretty much, don't really have plans set in stone necessarily, so we'll see what happens.
And Bill, Dean mentioned that maybe your expectations for this event were a little different than maybe in previous years. What do you think you'll be doing next year? You continue to play competitively?
Yeah, probably. It's a grind.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what'll happen next year. Dean will probably want to do it again. Mm-hmm. We were laughing out there earlier. It's almost like 2 fields out there. Mm-hmm. There's a field. There's probably 3 teams, and then there's the rest of us. And, our goal coming in was really to try to finish at the top of the rest of us. And then Earl Morris, who coached us at one point in time, he said to us, if, you can be the best of those guys, and then once you get into playoffs, you never know what could happen. So hopefully we can win a game tomorrow, and maybe we'll get to play him again.
You never know. There's quite a logjam in the standings, and there's a possibility of tiebreaker, or a mess of tiebreakers. So both teams still alive, Team Dropkin, Team Gemmel. Thanks so much, Bill and Andrew, for joining us at the break, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, take care.
How'd it go?
Pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well. One of your best interviews.
I'll be right back.
Joe's going to step out. We're back after the Stopera interview. Bill and Andrew Stopera. Yeah, the definitive Stopera interview, as Joe Calabri says. Two guys I know fairly well. So I'm sure it was entertaining. I'm sure Bill talked more than Andrew. So Nina Roth down 6 love here in the down 6 love here in the 6th end, and probably wishing she could get into the time machine and just go ahead a couple hours and be done with their week of curling. That's how it feels right now when you're in their situation. And you come in expecting a good result and it doesn't go your way. We're also looking in on Patty Lank and Corey Christensen. Oh, that's the mics are on that sheet.
Yep.
Patty Lank did not want to wear the mic. Perhaps that was wise. Perhaps I should not have worn the mic with my occasional off-color language I use on the ice that I'm really trying to get better at, but
You're never gonna.
no, I don't. I think you're right, Bal. I won't. Not playing with you anyways. It's too frustrating.
Gotta go line.
Oh, Plies is the number one.
Brian
guy.
Anderson says I'm far behind Chris Plies in that category. So there you go. So Patty Lank is down 4-3 without the hammer here in the 6th end. That's the look in. It's certainly probably might see some more on the line there for those two teams. They are both in the playoffs. Patty, I guess, could she get into the 1-2 game with right things happen?
No, I don't think Patty's can get in. I think it's just Corey, Erica, and who's the other one, Dean?
Aileen Sormanen.
Aileen.
But if Aileen were to lose and Corey were to lose, if Patty beats Corey, then I think Patty could get in. But that's a lot to happen. And right now, Aileen Sormanen is up 5-3 on Kate Burt, playing the 6th end. So Erica is peeling, and Patty is looking at.
Actually, Sarah Anderson's thrown.
Sarah Anderson's throwing, but Patty's looking at trying to steal here. Not a bad setup right now for her. She's got some rocks in front and pretty aggressive call here, really, but they may not the wrong call by any means, but Corey Christensen has asked Sarah Anderson to draw around those two that are in the top 12 and half in the top 8. Looks like this rock has a bit of pace. Starting to come down now, getting better there.
That sheet was really busting today, though.
Yeah, that's the sheet Bill and I played against the Corey Dropkin team with the Sun Andrew on it, and it was moving as much as any sheet of ice we've seen this week. Bill just handed over the headphones back to Joe.
Oh, that was a scary proposition. leave for a second, and Bill's taking my spot. So, Roth has soldiered on here, huh?
She has soldiered on. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have begrudged them handshakes at the fifth end, down 6-0. But I think they feel, some obligation to the other competitors in the field to carry on. So I think we'll see a few more ends there. But I think certainly if Erica were to score in this end, they might shake hands. Patty Lank, meanwhile, she's going to make a play, I think, on the Sarah Anderson's stone that just slipped to the back of the forefoot, edge of the forefoot.
I don't know if you mentioned that Sormanen stole 2 in the 5th. Now is up 5-3 over Burt.
We did mention that Aileen went to a 5-3 lead over Kate Burt.
See, that's what happens when I leave. I lose track of everything.
Well, we didn't tell people whether it was a steal, though, so you've added their information. Sweeping hard to get this one by. Not a lot of weight, but it's going to be shot stone. And leave Corey Christensen with a bit of a situation. She could blow this up here, right? I mean, she could.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
listen
if she
in
hits
on them.
High.
This is going to jam. Roll back here. Yeah. Hit it right here. More this way. More that way. More that way. I think we have to hit it right there. Yeah. Because I don't want this to stick,
I think Sarah's definitely right. You don't want to hit it nose because it just might nut on the nut on the back one.
Firm?
It's unfortunate that Sarah Anderson can't be more likable. They're awfully good ambassadors for our sport, the Anderson twins and the Anderson family, out of the Philly club, even though girls live out in Minnesota now.
The East still gets to claim them.
Yes, we claim people even if they just pass through.
That's right.
Briefly. So, yeah, firm weight here, a little high side, I think.
Whoa!
They might be hitting it on the opposite side they wanted to. And so the good news for her is she's certainly opened up the scoring area.
Shot rock, too.
Yep. So she's lying one, and
it's behind the guard.
Behind the guard and moved everything off the forefoot. So Patty has a choice to make here, and I think she will elect to. Well, she's going to look at a hit and roll. That hit and roll looks like it has some. Can jam onto the yellow of Christensen. Wouldn't be all bad, but at least make a force.
Okay.
Oh, she's not throwing a lot of weight at it, though, I guess.
She's throwing some sort of just tap?
I think so. Maybe she's hoping to tap her red onto the yellow shot stone and roll her shooter under. Seems tricky.
Doesn't have to move the yellow a ton.
Right. She doesn't have to sit two. I mean,
yeah.
If she sits one behind guards, she could just elect to draw here. You know, the ice really does curl here. She could draw, bite the top four. Trouble is, it's the way those rocks are lined up for Corey. She could probably, it would be, that would work all right because it would be Patty's own rock onto it. She could draw right in the top four. Looks like she's electing to play some kind of split with that amount of ice. Rock's on its way. I think it's the tap. I think she'd like to. She's thrown enough weight. She'd like to move that yellow shot stone. Is it over curling? She's gonna punch it right straight back.
Sit shot rock.
Not the worst result. That's not an easy stone to get to. It's a relatively narrow port.
May not be able to stick.
Might be time for Corey Christensen to just think about a draw. Let's hear what they say.
Just be like a heavy draw. try.
This is Hammer.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm just saying, it would be hard for us to get in for 2. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So back line.
Back line. Yeah.
Right there should be close.
So this is an interesting dynamic here. We have both these players have skipped this week. And I think you hear a little bit in the conversation there about
Back line.
maybe a bit of question about who's in charge. I'm not saying one is trying to assert themselves more than the other. In fact, I'd say they're both trying to be extra polite, but it's just it's an interesting situation that we see with this team, and I think that's a challenge for coaches and the other players when they move positions around like that.
Dynamic seems pretty good between them. Not any arguing. It's just good, long, healthy discussion. Dean, I started calling your time with Bill argument time rather than thinking time.
We do a fair amount of that.
Oh, look at this. Beauty.
It's going to be a great shot. Is going to move it far enough? Yes, she will, to score 2. A big deuce for Christensen to go up 6-3. Great shot there. Perfect weight. Swept just by the guard. And it's 2 yellow.
Pre-registration for the Arena National Championship is currently open. The event will take place July 16th to 19th in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Please remember to register your club's interest by March 13th. Contact Jenny at the USA Curling National Office with any questions. So, Dean, we promised we'd talk a little bit about curling in New York City. It's maybe, in my mind, one of the most important projects that there is in United States curling. Tell me a little bit about what your involvement is with that.
Well, myself and Dean Roth, and who's from my club in New Jersey, and Chad McMullen, who some people might know from Rock Solid Productions in Canada. He's the guy whose company's behind Rocks and Rings, the floor curling project, and he's got a street curling thing, and they do club management and a lot of things in Canada centered around curling. He's also a former, was involved in the Grand Slams early on. So certainly knows the game and manages, and he was a good player. Anyways, Chad, Dean, and I are trying to bring a dedicated facility to New York City. And after the 2010 games, I was the president of Plainfield Curling Club, and I saw the surge in interest we had, and I just really think that in a metropolitan area with 30-some million people, depending on how you slice it, there is room for some more curling facilities. We don't have to attract a huge percentage of the population to do well with it. So we really trying to make it New York City, in the Bronx, and we'll see how that goes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to wrap you up there, Dean, but just wanted to mention that there's handshakes here on sheet C, so we're going to shift our attention to sheet D, Lankin Christensen. But please continue.
No, so that's good. Nina took, it looked like she took 1, and they decided to wrap it up, down 6-1 after 6. Call it, I think not a great week for them, and I certainly would think I'd be shaking hands too. So we're there's a project in the Bronx that we think curling will be involved in, the Kingsbridge National Ice Center. That's a 9-rink complex, a 5,000-seat arena with 8 other rinks, and our goal is to make one of those a 6-sheet or 5-sheet curling facility. Mark Messier is the CEO of that project, and then there's some other. Sarah Hughes is there on the figure skating side, so it's a massive project. If it all comes together, it'd be great if curling is part of it. We hope it can be. And then we're also we're doing as under our Curl NYC brand. We're doing getting as much people onto just about any ice surface we can in New York City. So we have people curling in Brooklyn and Prospect Park, South Street Seaport. We have people curling. All these places I would call the conditions rustic, but our goal is to introduce as many people as possible to the game, continue to develop the interest, and then when we do have a dedicated facility, we'll have a built-in base of people and a database of people who want to curl. So I'm amazed by the enthusiasm of the people in Brooklyn. I mean, when I'm out there, it's not easy curling in those conditions, but they have a great group and there's some good instructors, and they're making it work out there. So
Well, it's an exciting prospect out there in New York City. Obviously, it's probably the biggest metropolitan that didn't have a dedicated facility out there. Hopefully that project will work out, and all that interest that you're building up now will carry over into that.
yeah, and I think some of these other in California, I think the people in Los Angeles, the Hollywood Curling Club, and I think they're, I'm confident that there's going to be dedicated ice there. I'm confident that people in San Francisco, our team is actually sponsored this week by the Cockfighting and Curling Club, which is an effort you should check out online, and that's part of their effort to get dedicated ice in San Francisco. So check that out. Interesting way they're marketing that. And I think I really believe that if we can get some more facilities in metropolitan areas, the big urban areas, it'll be helpful for the game.
So the situation here, Christensen up 3, Lank with the hammer. There is a corner guard out there available to draw behind, and looks like Lank's going to try to do that.
He's going to use it now. I like this call going in now rather than a lot of players will put up 2 corner guards, but my feeling is now, especially in the men's game, the guys are, and the women too, the guys are so good at double peels, and that if you don't use that corner guard, you may not get a chance to. So
this warps in, gets it tucked just a hair underneath. And Christensen lines up for removing that stone.
Could give a little update over on Aileen Sormanen and Kate Burt. Aileen is now up 5-4 with the hammer in the 7th.
So big game over there. We'll keep our eye on that.
That was a big deuce for Christensen here in 6. Really nice shot by Corey Christensen to get that deuce.
So as it stands right now, if Christensen and Sormanen both win, it'd be 3 teams tied at 8-1. One of those teams has to drop down to the 3-4 game.
And I guess that is when they'll go to those draw shot rankings.
Kind of looks like Christensen is the team at the bottom of those 3.
That's true, they are.
So they may be stuck in that 3-4 game if Sormanen were to win.
They're behind Erica Brown's team by less than an inch. I don't know what the results were. Did they have the results in the draw shot challenge from this game as well?
That was my understanding when Jerry came over here and loaded this page on my laptop. I think there was a reason.
Yeah, so it looks like the draw shot challenge rankings would be, of the teams that will be in the playoffs, will be Sormanen, Lank, Brown, and Christensen in that order. Taylor Anderson being asked to peel this corner guard. Now they're going to maybe just run it straight back. Yeah, okay.
That works too. Now might be time to sort of jiggle the rocks in the 4-foot area.
They might have to, Patty is probably going to have to make a play at these ones in the center. She's going to try to spread them out. Push some behind the tee line, give her some options as the end progresses. It's her 3rd Maureen Stolt. Brian Anderson, our producer here, suggesting that Patty Lank is a contrarian, doing the opposite of what people suggest in the booth. But here comes Maureen Stolt's rock on the way. Maureen Stolt, a past U.S. mixed doubles champion with her husband Peter Stolt. This might be...
Moved a couple rocks, nothing behind the tee.
Not the result they really wanted, but there seems like there would be an opportunity to put a rock in there later if this doesn't work out quite perfectly. I think ideally Corey Christensen would probably rip one of her own out here as well, up 6-3.
She hits us just a little high. She probably gets rid of hers and the forefoot and rolls her shooter. Maybe gets one of the other ones moving too.
Yeah, she might be able to stick almost right in front of that one in the forefoot. Sarah Anderson, they're calling sweeping. And that was not what they wanted to do. They didn't quite get enough of that one, so now they've created a mitt here. A catcher's glove right in there. Just tickled that one. If they'd really just ripped it out of there, it would have been a better result. Could have swept it less. Got more of it, I think. So now Maureen Stolt being asked to draw into that catcher's mitt of rocks. If they get it in there in the right place, it's certainly not going to.
Shouldn't be going anywhere soon, yeah.
She doesn't want to chop off that other one, I don't think, though. Is this just light, or is it? No, she's not light.
Good sweep.
I mean, that rock is
not going anywhere.
I think that Fenner kid could just blast it through. It'd all go right through. But Corey Christensen, let's listen to what they say here.
If we're here, they can then sit right in front of us. You got this.
So they're electing to guard, and I actually think that's a good call here. You know, a lot of us, when we get leads, we just keep trying to whack rocks out of there, and you forget that you're down to first to skip rocks here, and you know, you might be able to just score and win the game here too. So
you're sitting 2. Link's gonna have to make a shot just to score if you make a good guard.
She will have to make a play on that red at some point, and that hitting that red's it's certainly not going anywhere right now. So. There's rock on the way.
Fine. Okay, only wait. Yep. 4 guys. Yep, for line. Yep. Line's fine. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
A little deep.
Whoa.
They're saying just a 4, so just in. They don't want it too deep. Effective, I think. Although Patty might be able to clip her own red there. I think she's showing her enough of the red on the with the out turn. I think she does have to make a move on those rocks now. So. So they're not wearing mics, is that right? Is that why we don't hear them?
Maureen is wearing one.
Maureen is, but. Yeah, they could have a, Joe, they could have a circular three-way tie here, and our producer Brian Anderson has pointed out that occurred in Green Bay, and they went to a straight
semifinal,
final.
So we're going to try to find out if that's the case this year or if there's something different.
I don't think that rule has changed, but I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to be honest.
You know what I really like here would be another freeze on this. But
well, if he plays another freeze, though, I think you'd see Corey Christensen guard again, right? So.
And then you run theirs in and you blow everything up and you get your 2. I don't know.
And if she ever missed the guard, then you might have a chance at 3. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a gambler when I'm down, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, she makes. I'm not exactly sure. I think she's going to try to hit almost hit this one on the high side, the one on the yellow on the edge, and I think she thinks she might be able to get a piece of that other yellow.
The message that we're getting from Terry at the USCA is that they would still stick with the same page playoff format. They would not go to that semifinal final. So we're going to find out why, but that's the word.
We either have to get the roll all the way to nose. Yeah. Because you didn't get any movement. I don't mind because if we nose.
So the word is that seeding is determined first by head-to-head. They're all 1-1. So then you go to draw shot challenge score, and so that's what we had talked about before. So that's why that draw shot challenge is so important. Why we spend so much time before every draw throwing them. So Christensen could be the team that's sort of out in the cold playing that 3-4 game. Should Sormanen win and Christensen win.
So I believe Corey Christensen is hoping to hit and roll flop on top of that corner frozen on the red that's not currently corner frozen on the Christensen stone in the 4-foot.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Whoa.
She might end up with a nose.
Whoa.
Threw it a little safely. And does leave Patty a shot for two. Patty Lankier with can come down and move her red. Or she might play this in off. That's what it looks like she's going to play.
Yeah, it's a little thin on that outturn side, I think.
Yeah, probably to you have to really paper the guard, and then to move that Yellowstone far enough to count two would be difficult. So this is certainly the more makeable shot. Not easy. She's going to throw it with the in turn. So she needs to hit, what does it look like, Joe? A quarter of a rock?
Yeah, I'd say
Half
about
might
that.
work. Thin half?
Yep. There's a little bit of leeway here, I think, because of the way that.
I think that is going to
redstone-
be too thin, and that's going to be 7-3 Christensen.
Yeah.
And you know, Joe, since it's 7-3, and I have to play at 8 in the morning, I think I'm going to take my leave.
Thanks, Dean. I appreciate you stopping by and lending us your voice talent, your knowledge of the game, and it's fun to talk to you about all sorts of things curling. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you guys for doing this again. I think it's a real asset to the United States Curling Association. I'm glad we're doing it, and I would like to thank again all the Bill Peskoff, Russ Lemke, big donors like them, Dave Flippo, Rich Lepping, Bob Bridgman of New Jersey, a good friend of mine who made a donation, Steve Manick, another guy, and Dave Carlson, chair of the USCA, and my good friend Ben Tucker. We all know Tuck out of North Dakota. My favorite farmer, for sure. And,
He lives in North Dakota.
one of my favorite curlers. Just a great guy. So, and all the people who, we had a lot of people who gave different varying amounts online, and appreciated the support. And I think USA Curling appreciates your support, and thanks for that. So, enjoy the rest of the games throughout tonight and through the weekend into the playoffs. And it's been great to have this happen, and great to be a part of it.
Thanks a lot, Dean. All right, well, and Dean Gemmel has left the building. And we have 4 games still out there. Quick scoreboard update: 10-5. Courtney George McCormick over Kemwapola. Pretty wide open house here. Looks like this game is well under control for McCormick and George. over on sheet B, Michai and Molten. Michai has a 4-2 lead after 7. Ton of rocks in play on sheet B. Over on sheet D, this is a pretty important game that we're featuring right now. Christensen 7, length 3. Rocks being thrown through here. This is the 8th end with a 4-point lead. Christensen's really taking no chances. And over on sheet E, which a lot of teams have some interest in because it really can determine who goes to Worlds. Eileen Sormanen is up 5-4 after blanking the 7th end. They're in the 8th, and they have that 5-4 lead over Kate Burt. So maybe we can swing a camera over and kind of, at least side by side, cover that game on sheet E. It's a close game, 5-4. And Kate Burt giving Sormanen all they can handle. Sormanen only has that 1 loss. It's an important game for a lot of reasons. If Sormanen wins, not only does she punch her ticket to Worlds, but she knocks Christensen down to a 3-4 game against Lenk. It would be a rematch of the game they're playing right now. No matter what Christensen would do, she'd be in a 3-4 game. These top 3 teams all have 1 loss, all against each other. So as we're wrapping up, this is the last women's round robin draw. We have the playoffs for you starting tomorrow. The men's in the morning, men's final round robin in the morning at 8 a.m. Excuse me. We're going to have the Corbetts versus Pustovar as our feature matchup, but we're going to be keeping an eye on all the games as they all have tiebreaker type implications. And I'm going to assume we probably will have some set of tiebreaker either at noon or at 4. It just seems logical with as many teams as close as they are on the men's side. There will be no women's tiebreaker. And then at 8 p.m., the Page playoffs begin on the women's side. And then Friday and Saturday is the remaining set of playoff games. Stay tuned. We'll keep giving you the previews of what's to come.
Yep.
You can follow us on Facebook at 12th End Sports. 12th End Sports Network, I'm sorry, for Facebook, or on Twitter at 12th End Sports. So over on the right side of your screen, you're looking at Sormanen and Burt. Sormanen has the Red Rocks and the Hammer in a 5-4 lead. Burt does have a center guard. Looks like Sormanen is going to try to split the house here. So Sormanen splits the house deep, and this is going to allow Burt a chance to try to come around and get behind that center guard. Burt's playing with some aggression here, which I think the rest of the field is appreciating. So that draws a little short and really lined up for a double kill. And you hit a half a rock here. The the one in the back goes flying through the back, and the one in the front goes flying out the side. So it's a good chance here for Sormanen to really clean up the mess in front, leave it wide open, really eliminate Kate Burt's chances to steal significantly. And just like I said, double kill. Now Burt is going to have to decide whether she wants to try to bail out or play with that some aggression. She's going to try to freeze down to that stone.
Yep. Whoa.
Playing this 8th end a little like it's the 10th end.
Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Back over here on sheet D. Christensen sitting with 2 in the house. Like trying to get desperately behind a corner guard. Steph Jensen over on sheet E comes up a little light on that freeze attempt. You know, Brian, it's the first time I've been left alone for more than a few minutes. And I'm trying to call 2 games at the same time, so hopefully I'll do a good enough job describing things. Fortunately, you can see both the games on your screen. Lynx draw nicely around the guard, a little deep, but fully buried.
Just go, yeah, or over here.
Sormanen punches the Burt Stone out of the house over on sheet E.
Yeah? Yeah, like full 8. Yeah, okay.
And now it's up to Kate Burt. If she wants to try to freeze, it's going to be up to her over there. I think Burt's hoping that if she makes a good freeze, she might be able to get Sormanen to play a hit that loses her shooter. Maybe she can get out of this end with a blank and then rebuild some center guards the next end. Meanwhile, in the Link Christensen game, a little surprised that Christensen isn't just peeling out that guard. Instead, looks like they're going to try to cap their shot stone. They want it frozen to their own shot.
Line's good. Line is room. Lots of room.
A little heavy, I think. Punch it back just a little. Good shot. Kate Burt with a nice freeze down to that stone. Sits shot. And Sormanen is forced to try to peel this out without removing her own stone. That's going to be pretty difficult. Burt may get what she's looking for here and induce Sormanen to a blank. The real question is, will she take the blank? Would she just draw for 1 to get up 2 after 8? So we'll see. Patty Lank working her way down the ice. Going to have to make a play on these rocks in the 4-foot. She just sits 4th stone right now. Going to have to remove 2. If she can make a pretty good hit and roll, she may be able to sit under that guard. Here's a Sormanen stone. Removes her rock, the shooter, Burt stone, and now Burt looking to freeze again on the other side. Trying to get Sormanen to take one here. Well, that doesn't seem like a lot of ice for a freeze, so maybe they're going to play a hack weight hit on it instead. I've been a little confused by Burt's skipping motions for most of this week, so I apologize if I've gotten a bunch of them wrong.
Right.
So Lank makes an interesting play. Hits shot rock on, or second shot rock on the nose. removes a rock from play and kind of has some angles working here where she may be able to pick up a deuce or maybe even a 3. So it looks like Christensen's going to call timeout.
Okay, so where do you like it?
John Benton making his way down. Going to talk it over. We'll listen in.
And if we put one back here behind the tee.
Yeah. Like, the guard's got to be perfect.
You don't want to be number 1 count,
Well, they still have to be like second count.
so you want to be more over here?
Just got to make sure so that when she noses this one, she's not 2.
Yeah,
Right? So you could put it a little further out that way, right there.
right here.
Yeah. So you got to come this way.
Yeah, and I think pro side would be over here though, then over curling it.
Well, you
Well, yeah.
for this stuff later.
Which double?
If you put it up higher,
We put it up here.
right there, 7/8 is probably about where you sweep it to that spot.
Right here.
You think we might need a little more?
So
Okay. Yeah.
John's opinion is instead of trying to guard against the run-in, get to be second shot in such a way that if Lank tries the run-in, she'll only get 1. So you can put one in the side 4-foot just on the tee line or beyond,
Alright, so right on the tee line.
and that would be accomplished. So waiting for a scoreboard update on E. Sorry, my attention was a little bit distracted by the timeout. So probably a blank end over there. Yeah. And Bert has to throw first, playing a center guard. And Brian will switch the camera over there.
Guys. 7. Line's good. 7. Where is it? Yep.
In just 1 second, he'll get a camera in that direction. This Christensen rock looks like it might be a little light.
7, guys. 7.
We need to get it in there. Sweeping for all they can. It's close. And now
Yeah, that's fine.
they're trying to line up a double. There's a chance she could come off of her own stone, kick it sideways, get rid of the yellow one that was just thrown, maybe remove the 2 behind their stone, get 3. It's possible. Maybe we can see the overhead over on. Maybe. I have to throw this with some serious heat. But the shot, I think, is there. Has to catch that one in the back as that yellow one goes by. That's going to be the one I think is going to be difficult to remove. These other 2 seem like they're lined up pretty well. But I think they're going to have to kick that one out to get at least 2. Lake's in the hack, ready to go. With the backswing and a positive release. They haven't touched this at all. Oh, picks her own out, and unfortunately it's going to give up 3. And that should be handshakes on sheet D. Yep, there we go. And unfortunately for Patty, that never curled up for her. She's going to take the loss here, 10-3. And that means Christensen is waiting on the result of the Sormanen game to find out whether or not she's in the 1-2 game or the 3-4 game. The standings updated as of right now. Christensen and Erica Brown both are 8-1. Patty Lank drops to 6-3. She's solidly the 4 seed. The only thing that we have to know right now is whether or not Sormanen is going to be able to finish off Kate Burt. Kate hanging in this game, just down 1. Sormanen does have the hammer after blanking the last 2 ends. Burt has quite a few guards out front. There are 2 Sormanen stones sort of sitting in the back there. And Sormanen lining up double kill. I think she's going to want to hit on the high side. Yep, right there on the high side of the one on the center line. Try to kick it back into the one on the left. Try to double kill the other direction. There's a chance you can redirect something into your rocks in the back. You definitely don't want to do that. Makes the double kill. And Kate's going to look to try to establish the center guard a little closer to the house. Kate continuing to go relatively hard for a steal. It's going to need at least one point at some point here. Can't allow Sormanen to just blank out. So center guard out there now. Pretty close together with that other stone. Chance to double these out. See if we can hear anything out there. Yeah, I don't think our microphone, we have an on-ice microphone, but it's way in the corner of sheet A. Not going to probably be able to pick up much over on sheet E. Makes the single peel. Bert's going to try to now bring one, I think, around that center guard. It's more cornery than centery, but it's the only guard she's got left. This is Steph Jensen. Anderson and Schumer, the brushers. Little light there, staggers those guards. Double kill probably leaves the shooter, so Sormanen looking to just draw around. If she can get herself, even 1 point here, her chances of winning this game are dramatically improved. It's really going to be up to Burt to push the issue here in the 9th end. Draws warping in nicely around those guards. I don't know if it's quite fully buried, but it's probably mostly buried. And just playing backline weight, trying to punch this into the corner. Maybe you can induce a miss here. Steph Jensen again. Looking for the come around, this time the tap. For those folks at home who are Joy Ants Michai and Jordan Moulton fans, it's tie game after 8, 4-4. Tons of rocks in play again. And Bert Stone, unfortunately, doesn't push the Storman Stone far enough and kind of chaps wide open. Stormanen's going to have a chance at an open hit and stick. Sit 4 in the house. And Bert's really going to be up against it. Gets a jam on the back. Bert with a break there is just second shot now, but I don't think that Yellowstone's going anywhere. Bert's going to try the corner freeze. Maybe just slightly out count that red. And Bert's out of the hack. You see the house from a little bit different angle there. Looking a little heavy. It's going to have to die quickly. Chaps off their own, sitting second and third now. Swarming in trying to figure out what's the best thing to do here. And I kind of like that freeze down to the pocket. If you leave anything too far wide or too high, you do give Bert a chance to play the double. Here comes the timeout. And Scotty Baird making his way down. He's got to make his way all the way from the coach's box all the way to the far end of the rink. I think he has 30 seconds to get down there and then another minute. One of the things I'd be a big proponent for is when one team calls a timeout, the other team should be allowed to talk to their coach too. I think that would be helpful for the game. Might provide a little more insight into what teams should be thinking. It shouldn't slow down the game at all. And, frankly, coaches to have only one interaction per game is a little strange to me. So they're talking stuff over. We can't hear what they're saying, and they haven't pointed anything out. So looks like they're going to just set up a kill on one of those rocks in the back. Maybe they can flop over on top of the other one and kind of take that one out of play in terms of being any kind of counter. I don't think the double's there. It's possible. I'm going to look at it. double maybe there. They have to come pretty close to their own stone there, and probably down weight a little bit, just to get it to warp around there. So Sormanen away from the hack, looking to make a hit on a rock in the back 8. Hits, flops on top, really nice shot there. Bert is really, I think Bert's in real trouble here to get that steal. I think there's 2 options there, and the brooms are where they are at. You can corner freeze on shot stone and hope that you get some sort of miss on a wild hit, or you can sort of freeze down to second shot stone. You probably can't freeze all the way down to it, but most of the way to it. And hope that that Sormanen draws and is either light or heavy, and you get your steal that way. Neither are great propositions, but I'd like the draw down to the one to the back, because if you ever left anything peeking out there on the freeze on the top stone, you're giving up 3. If you're a little light on the one in the back, maybe you do freeze pretty well on the one that's shot stone. I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it. You could probably look at it equally the other way. And I guess whatever you're more comfortable with. I like the freeze on the back stone. Either way, they're sweeping this as far as they can. Kate takes a tumble and sort of corner freezes on shot stone. They are shot. My guess is half a stone at least is open there, and Sorman can take a good rip at it. Probably even careen it off their own and get it out. Maybe because of where it wound up, the careen doesn't go as far as I expect. Might redirect back into their own stone in the back 8 foot. There's a lot of discussion, I think, about the angles here and where it's going to go. If you make this, if you somehow can get to the inside of this just a little, you probably will score 2 or 3. But what they look like they're doing, I think they're going to just throw it hard, bounce it off the one that's next to, get it spinning, and then see what happens next. Not a ton of risk here. Probably the most you're ever giving up is 1. And even if that happens, you have hammer in the 10th end coming home, so it's worth the risk. Don't think this can be directly run back on third shot stone. Kind of looks like there's an overlap there. So I would consider this to be kind of her normal takeout weight here. Nothing crazy. Just kind of escorting it down with a light clean. They're going to hit the spot they're looking for. Spin that yellow back and score 1 point. Sormanen gets their 1 and takes a 6-4 lead. Bert has the hammer going into the 10th. The web streaming of the 2015 USA Curling Nationals is being brought to you through the generosity of the curling community. Please consider supporting similar programs and the growth of the sport in the United States with your own donation to USA Curling. Donations can be made through our website at www.usacurl.org, clicking on the Donate Now button. So, quick update over on sheet B. Joanne Smeechai takes 1 in the ninth, leads 5-4 over Jordan Moulton. Joanne has a very long center guard just over the hog line. So Sormanen throwing first. Gonna look to put one into the house. Sweeping this pretty vigorously. This looks like it's gonna be light. It winds up being more of a center guard. Bert gonna be able to throw a corner guard here. Not worried about anything being in the house. The question will be in my mind: will Sormanen try to draw behind this rock, or will there be a peel of shame? I vote for peel of shame. So no peel of shame. The draw behind instead. Uh-oh. There's the boss lady watching me. So, Bert looking, I think, to try to come down to shot stone. Either play some sort of hit and roll or maybe a freeze on that shot stone. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell with this angle how far that rock or how far the broom is from the object. Interesting idea. It kind of bumps the stone in the house back. It's behind the tee line now. Sormanen looking to peel the corner guard. Maybe get lucky, hit the backside of their own. And sort of does one better. You know, not sure I'd be hitting this stone if I was Bert. I might, if I was going to move it, I'd just move it a little, not a ton. I think I want to try to use as many rocks as I can. Indicated sort of a hit and roll. But again, I've been confused by her pretty much all week. Not in her calls, but just in her movements and what she's deciding to do. And this is sort of what I meant. This is, I think this is an excellent shot, particularly if it stays just in the rings. I like that a lot. Just going to need a miss out of Sormanen at some point, some sort of nose hit. But she might be able to generate a deuce in an unusual way, trying to build up a wall of stones back there. At some point, she is going to have to go into the house. Now at least she has something in the back of the house to work with. might consider freezing the shot stone right now. This is a good option too, sort of a similar kind of weight. Kind of punch this back a little bit, roll your shooter over towards the one on the right. Oh, nope, changed their mind. And they're going to corner guard. Corner guard's a good option too. Still early enough in the end you can do this. Bird will have 4 more stones after this. Needs 2 of them to count. Being deep is not great. Sitting second shot. Eileen's going to be able to remove this. Probably try to peel it right out. Gonna lose her shooter. Has to not leave anything that's complicated out there. Sweepers all over this. It's a lot of nose there, and a little opportunity here for Burt. She could just draw around that. Even if you drew to the back, 8 foot would be pretty good. She's thinking about hitting and rolling on top of shot stone. Looking at it again. I think that's the plan, is to hit and roll. Again, if it's that soft, tappy kind of weight, I like it. If it's a hard, remove it kind of weight, I'm not crazy about it. This seems like a soft, tappy kind of weight. Plenty enough to get it out, though, so not soft and not tappy enough. But soft and tappy enough because it didn't hit it directly. So, moved another one behind the tee line. And Sormanen, I think, sees some of the danger. And it's going to remove second shot rock. Maybe get lucky and kick over and get the double. Get rid of third shot rock also. Keeping things as simple and clean as possible. So Sormanen makes a hit, does not remove the other stone, and now Keith Burt really doesn't have a whole lot of choices here. Running out of chances on corner guards. Going to try to play the freeze instead. Oh, burned stone here for the Burt rink, so Sormanen can remove another stone without any real concern. I think removing the one on the 4 foot seems very counterintuitive, but makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Good freeze by Burt could make Sormanen's life a little difficult. So instead of leaving herself a very small area to score, just eliminate a stone that Burt can't freeze to. So it kind of opens up the scoring area for Burt. It simplifies things because nothing to freeze to. Just that one stone in the 12 foot, and with any kind of weight, it's very likely to get rid of that. Oh, and there's another way to do it. Burt's really in trouble here. That stone out of the rings can still be frozen too, but boy, there's just begging to be killed. That's all Burt has left, though. No guards out front. Bert has to be shot stone here, then hope that Sorman has a miss, a complete whiff. Just a reminder, 8 a.m. tomorrow, the men's final draw. Will there be a Timeageddon? Corbett versus Pustovar in our feature matchup, and wall-to-wall coverage of all the other games. Every game with some sort of playoff implication. Freeze looks pretty good. Over curls just a little. They're shot stone, but if Eileen hits just about anywhere here, that stone's going to be removed, and the game will be over. Now, Bert played a strong game here. It's going to make Eileen throw her last shot. A lot of teams haven't been able to do that this week. But if Eileen makes this shot, she's going to be going to Worlds. This is a big shot, probably big reaction here from the folks in attendance. Culmination of a really good year here if Sormanen could just make this takeout. Sweeping it vigorously. They make the hit. And this team is going to be going to Worlds. Handshakes. Eileen Sormanen, second points leader going into this event, is going to amass enough points with their finish in this championships to be our Team USA going forward to Worlds. Congratulations to Eileen and her team. We aren't over, though, for this championship. Eileen moves into the 1-2 page playoff game, and she'll be facing Erica Brown. We'll have a rematch of Patty Lank and Corey Christensen in the 3-4 playoff game. And those matchups will be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But we still have the men's field to sort out. Just about everybody in contention with one draw remaining, and that draw will begin at 8 a.m. Our game will be Corbett versus Pustovar. So that's going to do it for us tonight from the Ice Box in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Wing Stadium. And we're going to sign off now. For B.A. Brian Anderson, Dean Gemmel, and myself, Joe Calabrese, we're signing off from usacurl.org. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.